Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So this is Lagrange's No Siesta, the dice game by Stronghold Games. You can tell it comes in a very portable box. I got this baggie here with all the pencils and the roofs that come in it. You get some dice. Unfortunately, I had to sticker them myself, so they're all crooked and not nice. Gonna get enough to play 1, 2, 3, 4 players. You're gonna get some event tiles that are variable. You will get some trackers here to keep your score, and it's front and back, but the back is in a different language, so good luck with that. You're gonna get some cardboard, and you're gonna get these mats that you're gonna need to play the game. They're double-sided, but once they run out, you will need to make copies of these. And there's quite a few with such a quick dice game. I mean, you're gonna play this game a lot, I would think, but this is a lot of games in the box, and most people are not gonna play this game that much. So there you go. So the first thing I want to explain are these two boards. This is the Siesta track. If somebody gets to the top of it and spins a hat, you get all the way to the top, the game will end, and you get 1 victory point for each place that you move up on the spot. There are 3 locations here with a little marker with an X. That's how you get more markers. So there'll be 3 that will be set aside at the end of the game, and you can earn an additional 3 throughout the game. The second one is end of game scoring. This will be always, it's double-sided depending on the number of players you have, either solo or 2 through 4. And it's just how many victory points you'll get for each one of these things that you do. Having more workers or shipping goods or having more of your little worker spots. So that will be how those two work. At the start of the game, you will take 3 of your little tiles and you will set those aside. And you will have your little workers that you can earn. This will be how you keep track of your goods each round. You just put these on here depending on what good you have. You must spend all of your goods each round except for you can hold over 1 component per round that you can keep, or 1 commodity. Now the way the game works is as you utilize dice, you'll be able to check these things off. So up here, if you use 2 coins, you get 1 victory point. And you have to do, these are the only ones that you have to do in order. Up here, if you get 3 of a kind, you can mark one of these off with a pencil and you will get 2 victory points at the end of the game. Now these you can do in any order you want, but say this one, if you get a pig, a green, and a purple, it doesn't have to be all on the same turn. You will get this many victory points at the end of the game. You will also get to take one of these chits that will give you a power, and you just place it over top there. Now, when I have one of my markers on here, by utilizing this power, I can move it 1 space to the left or to the right by utilizing that power once per turn. This one would allow me to use a commodity as a Siesta hat if I wanted to, because commodity is going to be a wild card, anything but a hat, unless I have that. When I ship something on this one, I can get an extra good. So these are just ways for you to kind of break the rules. So this might be something good to try to get early. On this track right here, you have to get these in order. So a green, yellow, purple, green, yellow, purple, green, yellow. Once I do, if I'm the first person, I'll get 5 victory points, or 7 on this track. And if you're the second person, you get the smaller. But what it allows you to do is take one of these and put it up on that end of game scoring board. So I would utilize one of these spots on here, whichever I want, and I'm the only one that can score that now. So that's what this tracks are going to do. In order to have these, though, you must have a number of donkeys in order to ship. These have to go in order. The donkeys can be done at any time. Now, the remainder of this is just kind of leftover. So if you have some olives that you can't use or grapes you can't use, you would just mark it here. If you ever get 3 here or 3 there, these are worth 1 point for each of the 3 that you get, or the 2 down here, a donkey and a pig, and sets. So you'll be able to score victory points. So you'll be marking this with a pencil. Once you mark it, you can't use it again for another game. And you'll be utilizing points. At the end of the game, now laugh at my scores if you want, you'll get points for your roofs and your helpers and your long distance, and kind of how your scores will be placed on here. You can tell Dan Remchisel beat me by 1 point. Heck with him, but I was able to crush my wife when we played that time, 33-16. So that's how you play, and that's how you'll do it. But the actions you'll actually take on your turn. So what you're going to do is take a number of dice based on the number of players. So in a 2-player game, you're going to take 5 dice, and you're going to roll these dice. And then what's going to happen is the first player will choose 1 die, in this case a hat, and he will mark it on his little board. The other player will take a die, and that he'll mark it on his board. So if 3 dice left over, I re-roll these. I'll select another one. In this case, a pig. He'll take one. And this one with the yellow and green is particularly interesting because you can put down 2 markers on the yellow and green. And then the last one, we will roll the dice, and we both get to utilize this. So we both would get a grape. Then we would take what we got this round and spend it like I showed you how we would. So that's how the game is. You're rolling it, you're choosing your resources, re-roll, choose a resource, then the last die you both keep. And then you would take turns utilizing your spaces and scoring victory points. The only other variant there is in this game that I would probably highly recommend playing at some point are these event tiles. They would be face down, and each round you would go ahead and utilize these. So this will tell you every time if you ship this round, you get +1 Siesta. On this one, you can't export anything. On this one, a donkey and a Siesta hat are interchangeable. So there's kind of ways to break it up, give you a little bit of variability and get you something to fight with. Sometimes they help you, sometimes they hurt you. It just depends, but it'll give some variability to each
No
game.
Siesta is the dice game from Lagrange. Now, Lagrange is a really hard game to play. It's long, it's a thinker. Every card does 4 or 5 things, and you're just like, my head's going to explode. And I love every moment of it. Love that game. Well, Stronghold games have come out with no Siesta, which is the dice version of it. And when you look at the things that you're calculating and the dice, everything has that Lagrange look. So does the box, so does the components. Everything looks great. So all you get in this game is a dice, some score sheets that you write on, these little pencils, and you get some little tokens that you'll be using, etc. So what do you do in this game? You're rolling the dice to mark things off to score victory points. In my first game, I felt like we didn't push the end. So the players are going to push the end by going up the Siesta track with the hat that's going to score you victory points also. I feel like we didn't push that so much, and so we played a 2-player game, and we really accomplished everything. And I think the game is stronger when somebody is pushing that Siesta track. And with more players, that's going to happen. But you want to be pushing this game to the end. Otherwise, at some point, you just accomplish everything because the players are pushing the end of the game. And after there's only a couple places you can spin the hat other than the Siesta track. But there are a lot of ways where you get these little powers that you can move once to the left or right. And I think a lot of times when you get that Siesta track, or the Siesta hat, you're very tempted to change it over to something to score more points. But you got to keep in mind that Siesta track scores me victory points also, and you can really push that thing as hard as you can. I really like this game. I had a really good time with it. It's a little samey. There's not a whole lot different going on. The little event tiles, I think, at first I was like, well, I'm probably not going to play with these too much. But I think for variety and variability's sake, you're going to want to throw those in and kind of change things up every round. So those are something I wouldn't overlook. Maybe not including the first couple times you play, but I would definitely start adding those into the game as I played it more and more. Because otherwise the game has a tendency to feel the same. It kind of flatlines for you. But I do say I do really like this one. Stronghold has another winner on their hands. It's very seldom that I get a dice game that I really, really like. I like this one. I like how the dice are all rolled. I pick something, then you pick something. So it's a really combination of what I like. It's not going to replace the base game at all. I think if you pass this one by, you'd be okay. You're not missing a whole lot. But if you are a fan of Lagrange or dice games, this one does add something to the genre. I like this one a lot. I liking the resource and trying to pick them through. I think sailing things out, we have to get 3 of a kind. It can be very hard. But as the game progresses, you get some powers, and you're able to change things over. That can be a big way to score some points. So, and I also like how the end of game scoring, the bonuses you get to choose what you put out and how you're going to score to maximize your points. Very interesting, very cool. I like that quite a bit. So no Siesta is what I'm going to recommend to you for a dice game. If you like Lagrange, I think you're going to be fine picking this up. It's going to be very much of a lighter version of it. And maybe even a way to kick back and maybe do a filler or an end-of-game night after you play a long game of Lagrange. Like, okay, we played that big monster. Let's just play this and maybe shoot through it really quickly. I could totally see that happening. I think the game plays fine 2-player, and it plays fine with 4 players more. So that's really exciting too, that my wife and I have a little 2-player dice game that we can play together. This is one I liked. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I did like it, and I'm going to highly recommend it to you to check this one out. If you like this sort of game with the dice, or you like the base game that's built on, then it's going to be an insta-buy for you.
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.